Ahoy, young swashbuckler. It's time ye put me, the Fisher-Price Imaginext pirate ship, on your holiday list. We'll travel to the land of 1,000 wedgies, sail the treacherous Stinky Feet Sea, to find the treasure chest filled with candy. Oh, we're gonna have fun. I mean, harg.
Want Fisher-Price or Play School toys? Get to Kohl's for a sale so big. We're staying open 6 a.m. Friday through 6 p.m. Christmas Eve. Kohl's, expect great things.
Hours may vary. Visit Kohl's.com or store for details.
Amid growing awareness of the plight of religious minorities in Arab Spring countries and other parts of the Islamic world, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on Wednesday passed legislation creating a special envoy post to focus on the issue. Here's correspondent Hope Duggar.
The initiative had been stuck since mid-2011 thanks to a hold placed on it by a former senator acting on the recommendation of the Obama administration. Supporters of the measure also criticized the then chairman of the committee, now Secretary of State John Kerry, for disregarding requests to hold hearings. Wednesday, the committee, now chaired by Senator Bob Menendez, passed the bill unanimously with the chairman's support. This legislation was authored by Senator Roy Blunt and co-sponsored by 14 Republicans and 5 Democrats, including Senator Carl Levin, chairman of the Armed Services Committee. With IRN USA Radio News, I'm Hope Duggar.
Emergency services said nearly 90 people were injured on Thursday when part of the ceiling collapsed during a performance at a packed London theater, bringing the city's West End entertainment district to a standstill.
See, now, the first time they did that story, they said there were fatalities. Now it's injuries. I mean, these guys got to get their shit together.
Network A&E
They want to report death. That's what they want to do. I've been listening to these guys for over 3 years. It's ridiculous.
On Thursday,
All right, here we go.
making so-called anti-gay comments. Robertson was put on indefinite leave for his remarks in an interview in the men's magazine GQ. I'm Richard Stewart, IRN USA Radio News.
In 2000, U.S. national debt was $5.6 trillion, and gold was $272 an ounce. By 2010, the U.S. debt was $13.5 trillion. Gold had risen to $1,421. Today, our government is projecting over $20 trillion of debt in the year 2016. Isn't it time you own gold? You can't control federal spending, but you can control where you put your investment dollars. Goldline has safely delivered billions of dollars in gold to its clients for over 50 years. Diversifying with gold is a smart strategy. Call Goldline today to receive your free investor kit. 800-319-9027. Ask them about payment options and read their important risk information to see if buying gold is right for you. Use your credit card for safety.
Okay, stand by.
Don't wait. Call Goldline today. 800-319-9027. 800-319-9027.
Mike's hot.
All right, welcome to the show, World Soccer Radio on the Sports Byline USA Radio Network. I'm Nick Eber. It's a pleasure to be with you as I am each and every weeknight at 9 p.m. right here on the Sports Byline USA Network. A lot to get to today, actually. Some interesting stories swirling out there in the world of football and the world of sport in general. So let's talk about some of them, shall we? Today, let's talk a little bit about fan or spectator. Which one are you? This is a topic we've been covering on the show over the last few weeks. I will submit to you that most big clubs do not have fans anymore. They only have spectators. I'm going to tell you what the difference is when we come back. Also, I'm going to ask about MLS. The rumors are right now they may be foregoing a national television deal and instead doing a rights deal with Google and YouTube. I'm going to ask you, are you comfortable with MLS being off national TV? What do you think about that? Give me a call in studio, 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. Let's also talk about Nick's Table. I gave this to you the other day. Got a lot of feedback for it. People said I was crazy having Liverpool getting points at Chelsea and points at Man City and the way I had the table coming out in January. But I ask you this, after the Cup results, do you think I'm crazy now? 800-878-PLAY or find me on Twitter at World Soccer Radio. Also, we're going to be joined by Kartik Krishnaiyer in a little bit. He is a Florida football expert, and I'm going to ask you if you think the Beckham experiment in Miami has the potential to be football's version of the Hindenburg disaster. All right, 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. Big hello to our men and women in uniform around the world listening on American Forces. What a privilege it is to speak to you each and every weeknight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, if you're listening on an affiliate station of the Sports Byline Network, or TuneIn.com, or iHeartRadio.com, or if you're watching this show through WatchWSR.com or through World Soccer Talk, man, I love doing this show. I hope you will make me a regular part of your week, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here. Okay, 800-878-PLAY. The Twitter is @WorldSoccerRadio. The Facebook is facebook.com/WorldSoccerRadio. I mean, I feel like I'm just reading a menu of social media. I feel so old. I'm really not connected. Maybe not enough. All right, we're going to step aside, take a break. We'll be right back to kick it all off right here on the Sports Byline Network. Don't go anywhere. Be right back after this.
So, you're tooling along in your Malibu, and bam, some guy darts across your lane. You swerve and hit the ditch just hard enough to know you did some damage. Seconds later, an advisor comes through the stereo speakers and says, "OnStar, is there an emergency?" As you realize there was, some high-tech motion sensor was activated. A signal shot out 12,000 miles from orbiting satellites to calculate your exact coordinates, along with where you were hit and how hard, automatically alerting an advisor who offered to call an ambulance and dispatch a nearby tow truck, for which you thanked him profusely. You did not do one single thing, and yet a potent combination of amazing technology and human concern are swirling around you as a deep wave of relief washes over you. All because you drive a Chevrolet Malibu, connected by OnStar. Find new roads. OnStar acts as a link to existing emergency service providers. For details, availability, and system limitations, visit OnStar.com.
A message from Jim Hurley. What does it take to keep a football service going for 28 years? Always at the same 800 number and keeping your customers happy, prosperous, while hundreds of other services have died and fallen by the wayside? It takes a network. Picking winners is not a solo act. It takes teamwork. Call 1-800-323-4453. That's 1-800-323-4453. Jim Hurley's network operates on this core belief. 1, you must have boots on the ground and see what's going on in practice and in the games. 2, the more information you have at your disposal, the more new information you generate.
90 seconds.
That's why Jim Hurley has retained
Stamp.
many of the same customers year after year. And now it's your turn. So call today.
So when's Cardick supposed to call in there, Nick?
4453. 1-800-323-4453. Or visit JimHurley.com.
Oh, okay.
That's
Give me an idea. I wouldn't be looking at the
1-800-323-4453.
phone.
Or visit JimHurley.com.
1 minute.
Loud bands help teams win. Yell bands helps fans
1 minute
be
to
loud.
waking up.
Yell bands are megaphones that fans wear on their arm and pull off to
On
cheer
my
for their
cue,
team.
coming
And
out.
now Yell Band LLC is crowdfunding in order to purchase the licenses to put NFL and college team logos on the bands. Contributors receive some pretty cool perks, like a t-shirt, a Yell Band of your choice, or even free game tickets for the life of the company. Go to yellband.com and click on the green crowdfunding button to learn more and contribute. Take home field advantage to the next level at yellband.com.
No way! You know how much we save by cutting this down ourselves? We're almost to the car, we can make it! Why aren't you hibernating?
There's another way to save at the Sears One-Day Sale this Saturday with Friday Preview. Get 60% off coats, fleece, and more. A 46-inch RCA LED TV is just $399.99. And you've earned them, now claim them. Redeem your Shop Your Waypoints today at stores or Sears.com. Holiday a better way. Sears. Sale ends 12/21. Prices may vary. Exclusions apply. See store or Sears.com for details.
Stand by. You're up.
All right, welcome back to the show, World Soccer Radio, Sports Byline USA Radio Network. I am Nick Geber, and I'm with you each and every weeknight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so much to get to today, so let's just get right into it, shall we? With some big stories we're going to talk about, whether you're a fan or a spectator, MLS TV. Let's give a little chat to my table. We're going to speak about Beckham in Miami. But, you know, before we get into all of that, I learned something really disturbing today. I mean, I had no idea. I was surprised. I was shocked. I was no, I was not devastated, but I was truly surprised. Did you know Brian Boitano today came out as gay? He came out of the closet today. I mean, who'd have thunk that? But the reason he came out, I mean, not that this is a great surprise to anybody, and frankly, not that I personally could give a snuff what his or anyone's sexual preference is. My personal opinion, as long as you're happy and everyone's consenting adults, life is grand, and let's get on with it, shall we? But it's interesting because the reason that he came out, as I said, not that that's much of a surprise to anybody, was because he was named to the White House delegation to the Sochi Games in Russia. Now, if you haven't been reading the paper or following the news, or you're living in a vacuum, or you're living in some compound in Utah without any electricity or any connection with the outside world, the fact of the matter is that the Russians are very anti-gay. They have anti-gay legislation, and they've doubled down on this position with the Olympics. And keep in mind, we're not just talking about the Olympics, folks. We are talking about the 2018 World Cup, and we're talking about a similar situation in Qatar in 2022. Both of these countries have a similar approach to homosexuality. And by the way, if it's not homosexuality, it's they don't like your religion, or they don't like where you come from, or your ethnicity, or whatever. I mean, it's a door that if we open, it's going to get very, very nasty. So President Obama or his advisors or the folks involved with it have decided that they're going to make a statement about this, because the U.S. has come out publicly and said they will not boycott the games. That they're going to make that they made a statement now by basically appointing to the official White House delegation to the Sochi Games openly homosexual athletes. Now, for me, I say congratulations, this is great. But now I ask you this, because the show is obviously World Soccer Radio, and we're talking about world global football here. Now I ask you this, fans of the game here in the United States, would you like to see Sunil Gulati, the president of U.S. Soccer, take a similar approach to the World Cup in Russia and the World Cup in Qatar? And instead of Brian Boitano, maybe the official U.S. representative, Robbie Rogers. What do you feel about that? I, for one, think that would be a very positive move. I like this. We would be making a statement. We would be saying we find your position on this unacceptable. And we're going to make a statement by sending you somebody that if you didn't know he was gay, you would be lauding him as a fantastic athlete or a great football player, what have you. I think it's a great idea. I would love to see U.S. Soccer do this. What do you think, by the way? Send me a tweet at World Soccer Radio and let me know, because for me, we've got to stand up to these bullies. I don't care whether it's Russia and Qatar in regards to homosexuality. I don't care whether it's Qatar 2022 in regards to the slave labor that's building all of these stadiums. These people are treated as less than equal. They're essentially prisoners while they work on these stadiums in, searing heat without enough food and water, inhumane conditions, and they're dying. They're dropping like flies, folks. We need to stand up and do something about this. Otherwise, we'll be no better than 1936 Berlin Olympics, when everyone showed up to the beautiful, brand new, modern Berlin and looked around and said, what a great job the Nazis are doing. And of course, everybody turned a blind eye to that area where that No Jews Allowed sign was taken down. Or everybody felt good because the deportations had stopped at that time, while the international community came in. Change has to be permanent. You can't just make change for a 2-month tournament or for a 6-week tournament. We have to let them know that the world finds these approaches inhumane, unfair, and wrong. And if you want to play on the global stage, you have to play to everybody, not just a few people. That's just the way I feel. How do you feel? Send me a tweet at World Soccer Radio. I'd like to see U.S. Soccer take the cue of Brian Boitano leading the Olympic delegation. I'd love to see Robbie Rogers, head of the U.S. delegation to the Russian World Cup or the Qatari World Cup. And I don't even, if I'm saying it right, I feel like I'm pulling up some phlegm from the back of my throat. All right, 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. Okay, so let's get to it, shall we? Why don't we start the big discussion of the day And we do just have a few minutes, and we'll take it into the next segment. But I ask you this. There's a fight going on right now between Vincent Tan, the absolute lunatic owner of Cardiff Football Club, and Malky Mackay, the manager. Mackay brought them up from the Championship. Mackay is a good, solid manager. Their results are decent, not great. Right now, they're not even in a relegation position, but yet Vincent Tan feels that they overspent by £15 million in the off-season. And as a result, the first thing he did is he fired Malky Mackay's scout, and he appointed in his place a friend of his son's who was, by the way, at the time, doing some painting work around the grounds. I mean, this wasn't because he felt that this kid knows anything about scouting. This was a way to really get under the skin of Malky Mackay. Mackay comes out and says, yeah, I think we're doing well. We could maybe stay up, maybe a couple of new signings in January. Well, Vincent Tan was outraged about this, said not a single penny will be made available in January. Not a single penny. And the latest is now he's come out and he said to Malky Mackay, you're either going to resign or I'm going to fire you. Now, if you've been watching what's happened in the Premier League with Andre Villas-Boas, who has made himself a multi-millionaire, not with his football prowess, folks, but by his severance packages from both Chelsea and Tottenham, maybe Malky Mackay should be saying to himself, yeah, I'm just going to needle this bloke a little bit more, then I'll get fired and I'll get a big severance package. But I don't know, there's something in the back of my mind that says Vincent Tan is a lunatic. But look, all of this begs a bigger question, and I'm going to put the question out now, and we'll continue the conversation on the other side of the break in a few minutes. Have you noticed that no one's discussing the fans in this discussion? This is now the manager. This is the owner. We had the same situation, by the way, with Hull City Football Club that are now called the Hull Tigers. We had the same situation last year at Chelsea Football Club when Roman Abramovich appointed Rafa Benitez, a thoroughly despised man around Chelsea circles. By the way, I'm a big Benitez fan, as you know. But it seems like in the modern day and age, we say, well, this isn't sport, this is entertainment. And yeah, if you go to a movie, you pay your, what is it now, $13, pretty soon it'll be like $100 to go see a movie. You sit down and you are taken on that ride. You don't have any input. This isn't an interactive process. You pay your ticket, you see what the director presented to you. I don't want football to become like that. I always feel that my passion, my interaction is with my club. And yeah, they may not know who I am, and I can call them, they won't pick up the phone. In fact, I'll get a machine or I'll get escorted out of the grounds if I try to go in. But deep inside there's that thought that I am one of many. I am one of the fans that is important to my club. But as football continues to globalize and expand beyond the local reaches of that club, it does become more and more like entertainment. The product you're watching on the telly or reading about or watching on the internet, fewer and fewer people are going to the grounds. So it becomes more like entertainment. If you're prepared to accept that, if you're going to accept that your football is entertainment, then you're going to accept that it is presented to you in whatever format the manager, the owner, or the board of directors wants to present it to you. And what you want with your club means not a snuff. Here's what we got. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it, as the owner of Hull City said, you can go die. Pretty awful stuff. We'll continue the discussion on the other side of the break. World Soccer Radio, Sports Byline USA, 800-878-PLAY. Find us on Twitter at World Soccer Radio. What do you think? Love to hear from you, folks. It's the only way the show works. We'll be right back.
Are you one of the 37 million Americans with student loan debt?
All right, very nice.
Pay attention to this important announcement. Broadsword Student Advantage has free information on how you may be able to reduce your monthly payment, shorten your repayment term, or possibly have your remaining student loan balance completely forgiven. You heard correctly. You could potentially have your federal student loan completely forgiven, but you need to call now for free information to see if you qualify. Broadsword Student Advantage and Affordable Life Plans, a registered investment advisory firm, are working together to help you find a solution for your student loans. In one free call, you can discover how you may be able to cut your student loan payments, shorten your payment term, or have your loan forgiven. There is no cost or obligation for this money-saving information. Call now, 800-211-0448. That's 800-211-0448. Don't miss out. Call now, 800-211-0448. 800-211-0448. Or visit online at getforgiven.org.
Health insurance is on everybody's mind right now. You either don't have it or you have it and you think it's too expensive. And you probably feel like you don't have any options. We can help. We are InSphere Insurance Solutions. We offer health insurance plans from major carriers nationwide and likely have a plan that can save you money. Whether you're self-employed, on a COBRA plan that's about to expire, or you simply don't have health insurance where you work and you need it, InSphere Insurance Solutions can help.
All right, I'll give you the word when Kartik calls in.
Find coverage you can afford. InSphere Insurance Solutions is an authorized agency in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia. Plans may not be available in all states. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works.
All right, stand by. Stone's coming out.
Forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-800-299-3469. 1-800-299-3469. That's 1-800-299-3469. 1-800-299-3469.
All right, welcome back. World Soccer Radio, Sports Byline USA, 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY, Twitter at World Soccer Radio. I'm Nick Eber. By the way, no Danny Page today. I think Danny will be back tomorrow. I know you're all crying. No, really, I really enjoy doing the show with Danny, and hope you enjoy it too. Okay, so I asked you before the break, are you a fan or a spectator of your team? What are your expectations? And that, to me, is really where this all lies. As these clubs open up the global market, 30 years ago, we never would have imagined that Manchester United would be such a massive brand here in the United States, or Liverpool, or I would turn on the, a certain station and listen to people discussing, Norwich or Hull City. I mean, it is almost mind-boggling to those of us that have been following this game for decades, that at this point the game finally is broken through, and that many times we're talking about clubs who come into the Premier League that were and still are small market clubs on a global stage, and it creates a very odd balance. We can all get our hands around Manchester United. We can all get our hands around Manchester City. They're multi-billionaire owners. Chelsea, right in right there in the middle of London with a high-profile owner. Arsenal, a classic old football team. Liverpool, one of the greats. These are brands whose achievements over the years have, in many respects, transcended the market in which football has lived for all of these years. But because of the popularity of the Premier League and its profile, now we've got people talking about Norwich or Hull City or Cardiff or West Brom or Crystal Palace or Sunderland or Stoke. I mean, how many people even knew where these places were beforehand? And look, there's nothing wrong with this. Don't get me wrong. Where I'm going with this discussion is the fact that you have to understand that most of these football clubs have come up over 100 years plus, more than 100 years in many, many cases, 110, 120 years, as local athletic teams for the neighborhoods in which they exist. So they've always had such an incredibly narrow beam focused local market that they deal with, and all of a sudden, because of the popularity of the Premier League, boom, you're watching Stoke City in your living room in Dallas, Texas, or Los Angeles, California, or New York City. And of course, because of just we are who we are and we like sport, America is a great sport nation. We love our sport here. People start to follow these teams. So they have totally different expectations. A fan of Stoke City who might buy as much or more merchandise from the Stoke store online and have it delivered as somebody that lives right there and has been following a fan who is a third or fourth generation supporter of Stoke City Football Club. That fan is, in many respects, every bit as important. He may not get to the stadium, may not get to buy the overpriced tickets, but he's going to buy the merchandise, buy into the digital media, feel connected, but feel connected from the same position as you go see a movie and buy a ticket. It's not an interactive process. There may be interaction amongst the fans, but the interaction between the fan and the club isn't there because the vast bulk of the supporters now are not local and aren't there to interact with the club. And that creates a completely different setting for owners to interact with their fans. It's much easier for owners. They can now do whatever they want, and they don't care what the fans want. You know, there's no longer the, what is it, the third pillar of government. Excuse me if I'm bad on this stuff. I am. It's no longer a pillar of football. The fans now are the people that provide the money for you. They're no longer the fans. They're no longer that other 12th man. They're just financial lubrication, the dosh. The reason for you to exist, but you don't have any responsibility to them because now the responsibility is to the guy that's ponying up the big money to own the team. Like Vincent Tan feels he can do whatever he wants. He wants to fire his manager, could care less what the fans think. Alim Assam at Hull City could care less that the fans have an emotional attachment to the name of over 100 years of Hull City Football Club. He doesn't like it. Sounds cheesy to him. He's the owner. He's the money. We're going to be the Hull Tigers now. And when the fans sing, "We're Hull City till we die," he says quite publicly, "Oh, okay, go die." That's how much ownership cares about fans anymore. So we shouldn't be surprised when Roman Abramovich appoints Rafa Benitez really just to stick a finger in the face of the fans. This is what he wants to do. Fans don't mean anything. So I ask you again, are you a fan of your team or are you a spectator? And I will say that there are fewer and fewer clubs who have fans anymore. Most of the clubs now have spectators. I like to think that my club, Liverpool Football Club, still have fans, still care what the fans think. But it's not going to be long until we're just like everybody else, like Man United, or like Chelsea, or like Hull City, or excuse me, the Hull Tigers, where we are all just spectators. What do you think? 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. Love to get your input on this because I think it's a really important topic. You know, I was reading an article, and I'm one of these guys. I'm 40, well, I'm 26 years old. Okay, not really. I'm 26 plus 22 years old. And I've been there through the technological revolution. I was there for the first Apples and had IBM PC, XTs, and all the rest of that stuff right in the early days. So I'm not a technological idiot. And I have started to enjoy a lot of the IPTV stuff, and it's a great way to watch football. I can have 5 or 6 matches open. But what I have found is that I am now consuming my sport, not just football, by the way. I'm consuming college American football. I'm consuming college soccer. I'm consuming basketball because I love my basketball too. Cricket. I am consuming my sport from all over the world more and more and more now on these digital platforms. Some are better than others. There's no great standardization. Whether it's ESPN, Watch ESPN, which is a terrific platform, and you'll excuse me if I'm a little bit biased. I was involved with Watch ESPN when it was ESPN 360. I provided them a lot of programming and a great, really visionary platform. Or NBC Live Extra, if you're a football fan, you're watching all the matches there. It's a totally different way of getting your sport. There's rumors out now that in the wake of really, really poor national television ratings, and of course for Major League Soccer, now of course we're in a time when Major League Soccer is it's putting its rights out for bid, that Google is interested in bidding for the national rights for Major League Soccer so that they can present them and air them on YouTube. Keep in mind, this is concurrent with a little device called Google Chrome, which is a little, or Chromecast, which is a little USB dongle that you stick in your TV, and you can shoot your video from your TV, from your computer right to your TV and watch it there just like another channel. I'd love to know what you think about it. Let's go to the phones and welcome in our special guest from World Soccer Talk, Mr. Kartik Krishnaiyer. Kartik, what do you think about this rumor that Major League Soccer might forego a national TV deal, take a big money rights package from Google, and put the national platform online? Do we have Kartik or not? Okay, apparently we don't have Kartik, so that was a lovely introduction, but no Kartik. So, all right, well, that is what I'm being told they are planning.
We got him.
Oh, we do have him. Okay, we do have him.
Yes, sorry.
Kartik, I don't know. Did you get the question?
Yeah. And Nick, I was just actually on another show prior to this, and obviously
I had to switch him over. Sorry.
A topic we discussed, and it's funny. I think people are very much, I don't even want to say split on it. There are two minds about it. One mind says, my goodness, MLS is not going to be on a mainstream television channel. The other mind says, holy crap, this is really cool. This is something new and cool, and Major League Soccer and the sport of soccer will be on the cutting edge of this technology.
Two.
And you can watch MLS anywhere then, once you're locked in with YouTube. So and I'm of two minds about it. I have to say my reaction is very similar. It's my first reaction was, that's really neat. And then my second reaction was, oh, well, if they're not on NBC or ESPN anymore, they're not, they're out of kind of the mainstream. But then you think about the fact that football fans in this country are ignored by these large, by the mainstream media anyway, right? To a large extent. And we know where and how to find the products we consume. And YouTube and Google might be a good deal for MLS. And it's something different. And MLS would be on the ground floor of this. So I don't know. You could go both ways on it.
Well, let me ask you this, Kartik. If a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to see it, does it make a sound?
Well, that's what's been going on now on ESPN.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly the point I want to make here. Is that you can talk about that we don't get mainstream TV coverage, et cetera, et cetera. The fact of the matter is there is mainstream TV coverage right now. You can see MLS on NBC. You can see MLS on ESPN. So there's plenty of mainstream coverage. The fact of the matter is, no one's watching it. The national television ratings for MLS are lower than the WNBA. So let's put that into perspective. I want to pick up this discussion on the other side. I, for one, I'm going to put my position out there, Kartik. I think it's a terrific idea. And when we come back, I'll tell you why. All right, Nick Geber and Kartik Krishnaiyer with you. World Soccer Radio, Sports Byline USA, 800-878-PLAY. Find us on Twitter at World Soccer Radio. We'll continue the discussion on the other side of the break, and we'll have plenty of time to get into the Beckham and Miami situation. I ask you this, is that going to be MLS's Hindenburg? All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Sorry about that. I had to switch him over. We've got that other line disabled until AT&T can fix it.
No worries.
Okay, anyway, Kartik after the break.
Sears one-day sale this Saturday with Friday preview. Get 60% off coats.
By the way, if you're watching this broadcast on Ustream, you will hear a lot of chatter between the various locations that are producing the show, whether it's me here in the studio or Sports Byline Network headquarters, which is in San Francisco. Cisco.
Well, we have
So we
great
talk
news.
back with
Now
each
you
other
can finally
through
get prescription drugs at
a
huge
device,
discounts
and
from Canada Drug Center.
you
That's
get to
right,
hear
the
all of
most
that just
popular
because of
drugs
the
for cholesterol,
way we
high
have
blood
to
pressure, depression,
rig this whole thing.
diabetes,
So
arthritis,
hope
and
you enjoy
many
the back
more
talk.
are now up
It's not
to
that much to enjoy,
75%
but
off. Why pay U.S.
there we
pharmacy
go.
prices when you can get
Nice
brand
talking
name
to you.
drugs at the lowest price? Call
There you
today
go.
and get up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs. Never pay high prices again. Get the most popular drugs at huge savings from our Canadian and international pharmacies and fulfillment centers. No insurance? No problem. Prices are so low you do not need benefits or insurance to get all your prescriptions fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting to take your call now. Order today and get free shipping. Just call 800-950-1180. Up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs and free shipping. Call 800-950-1180. That's 800-950-1180.
At Sports Authority, find the best holiday gifts for everyone on your list. We have thousands of items on sale now, like 25% off Nike fleece apparel and up to 50% off all treadmills, ellipticals, and exercise bikes. Plus, when you enter our $500,000 gift of sport holiday sweepstakes, you'll have your chance to win hundreds of prizes. Visit sportsauthority.com to enter and see official rules. Shop our great deals in-store and online today to see why there's nothing like the gift of sport. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
Waiting for settlement or annuity payments but need cash now? Stop waiting years for your money. Now you have a better choice. We're Novation, and we'll pay a large lump sum of cash in exchange for settlement or annuity payments. You get the upfront cash you need and let Novation do the waiting. Call our toll-free assistance line right now and get our free DVD that explains in easy-to-understand terms how you can turn future settlement or annuity payments into cash. At Novation, we've helped thousands of people improve their lives. How? By listening to each customer
30.
with respect and tailoring a cash solution that met their individual needs. Let Novation help you too. Call now and get your free DVD rushed to you today. Our specialists are standing by awaiting your call. Call 800-541-0769. That's 800-541-0769. Again, call 800-541-0769. Simply call Novation toll-free at 800-541-0769 and get your money when you need it.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, welcome back to the show, World Soccer Radio, Sports Byline USA. I'm Nick Gieber. No Danny Page today. Weeknights, 9 p.m. Let's talk beautiful game right here on Sports Byline. By the way, once again, a big hello to our men and women in uniform around the world listening on AFN, on American Forces Radio Network, on the Fans channel. It's so terrific to be with you. Actually, it's a privilege to bring you this show. I'm very excited to do this Monday through Friday. Great to speak to our servicemen and women. All right, well, the question I ask you now is the rumors about Major League Soccer giving up on national television and moving to a digital platform. I, for one, think it's a terrific idea. I'm going to tell you why, but let's bring back our guest from World Soccer Talk, Kartik Krishnaiyer. Kartik, for me, this is a good move, and I'm going to tell you why. It is obvious to me that Major League Soccer is going to have huge problems making national television inroads because of the crowded national sport landscape. It's not easy to get to build a national presence. NBA have trouble doing it. I mean, really, the NFL are the only sort of sports league that really managed to transcend the local markets with a big national presence. Major League Soccer does very well in its local markets, both in terms of attendance, broadcast rights, and everything else. So why not write it off and be at the, rather than be an also-ran, why not be at the cutting edge of something new? Why not take a massive rights fee from a company that has more money than God himself, okay, put that into the coffers to help your franchise and really work with them to develop a cutting new way to deliver sport content, not just here in your local area, but globally. I mean, for me, one of the great frustrations, for example, with NBA League Pass, I'll give you an example. I'm a Lakers fan, and I don't actually get Time Warner cable. I don't get Time Warner Sports Network at my home because I'm a Dish Network subscriber. So I subscribe to NBA League Pass, but you know what? That game's blacked out. There's something wrong there. So I for one, am for a big digital platform, a la carte, take what you want, leave what you want. I think it'd be a much better way to deliver it, Kartik.
Yeah, again, this will be cutting edge for MLS. This will be
No,
This
for
might
all
be the
sport,
wave of the
not just MLS, Kartik. This will be the
right,
first
MLS
major.
will be
This will be the first major sport to disintermediate the networks, and for that, I'd be thankful.
Sorry, that's kind of what I meant. Is that they would be the first league to be at this cutting edge of new. Probably, let's be honest. I know, and this is interesting. ESPN has signed a 20-year rights deal with the Southeastern Conference recently, and there are other rights deals. The NCAA tournament deal with TNT, Turner Networks, and CBS has gone for about 15 or 20 years because the networks are concerned about the potential of something like this happening. You get Google, you get Apple coming in with their platforms, with their digital platforms, potentially as game changers. So I think this is probably the direction to go. But as I said, I was on a show just a little while ago, and there was the thought, well, if I don't have the Google Chrome box, I can't watch the games on television. Well, you can watch it go get a Google Chrome box. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it anywhere.
Right, well, that's it. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your computer. And I think those Google Chromecast things go for about $35. That's a lot cheaper than what you're getting charged by your cable company to carry the network that you're going to see that match on. I mean, that's a very cheap price. Stick it in your TV and watch it. If you have an older TV that doesn't work, you can stick the you could just connect an HDMI cable to the back of your computer. There's 150 different ways to take high-definition video content from your electronic device and move it to your television screen. That, to me, is the thing that's really broken through this. So it's no longer the cable box or the satellite receiver that's doing it.
And honestly, let's be honest about this. More people go to YouTube every day than watch ESPN or NBC. So basically, you're going to have MLS branding, MLS advertising on one of the top 3 most popular web platforms or communications platforms on the planet. That's tremendous.
That's tremendous. And the other thing is most of the new televisions and DVD players and gaming consoles have YouTube baked into them already. And we're getting to the point now with high definition content and the new, first it was plasma TVs, now it's LCDs and LEDs and all the rest of the stuff. That the days when you had an old tube TV that needed, with a coax cable in the back of it, that needed to connect to the back of the cable box, the number of people that are back in the dark ages in that basis are fewer and fewer, and I don't think they're a demographic anymore that moves the meter.
No, and I think this is kind of cool and hip. Also, we know soccer fans tend to be more
younger. They tend to be 18 to 35.
Right,
more affluent.
And much more affluent. Tend to be kind of more. I don't want to say counterculture. That's the wrong word, but more outside the box type thinkers. And you're looking at something that probably caters directly to them. And I will say this: if MLS does this, they will not be the last league to do it.
Well, actually, Kartik, let me just read this. Matthew Mueller, MB Mueller 831 on Twitter says, if MLS is Google's first live sports programming, aren't they more likely to prioritize MLS programming than ESPN or NBC are? Absolutely. Why not become the flagship sports product of one of the biggest companies in the world? I mean, come on. Listen, if Don Garber does this, this man has gone, way up in my esteem. This is a really forward-thinking, gutsy move. If he does it, I tell you, he will go. I will have so much respect for him for doing this. It will be an absolute winner.
It could go down and Garber is not my favorite person, so
he's actually a nice guy,
hate to say this, but he is actually a nice guy, right? He's not my favorite leader of a league, but this would be like when Pete Rozelle did the deal with CBS to get the NFL on television. You read a lot about that in sports marketing terms. When he took over as NFL commissioner in 1960, and he did the deal, and then did the deal with Roone Aldridge for Monday Night Football on ABC. This would be tantamount to that, because I think this is the way it's probably going to go.
And you know what, Kartik? The USL leagues are going to be on YouTube as well going forward. I did hear that. So, you can get all of your American football And I'm not talking about Gridiron. You can get MLS, you can get USL, you can probably see some PDL matches, you can see all your USL Pro matches. You can see the complete pyramid of American football right there for you on Google, on YouTube. I think it's terrific. My hat's off to it. I'm going to subscribe. Let's move on to the next topic, though. This one I know near and dear to your heart. David Beckham, Miami. Looks like this deal's happening. Kartik, I think this is MLS's Hindenburg. As good as the Google deal is, this has a chance to really blow up in their face.
Yeah, this could be waterlogged, right? I think the issue with this is that there's not going to be a real good location for a soccer-specific stadium in Southeast Florida, and in Miami specifically, because it looks like Beckham has ruled out. I'm going to do a little more reporting on this in the next 24 hours. Ruled out any venue outside of Miami or Miami Beach, and that cuts you off from a significant amount of the traditional football fans in the area, the people who've supported American soccer products in the past, the European expat community, all of those things. Additionally, he's not going to get any tax money because of the debacle following the Florida Marlins Stadium. So that's a whole other issue. There's a lot to be concerned about with this deal potentially, but then the upside, I guess, for Major League Soccer is that they have David Beckham and they're attached to David Beckham.
Well, this is I don't get this. Look, I know Miami is a glitzy, glamorous market. I get that, okay? But I mean, I'm here in Los Angeles, and this is as glitzy and as glamorous of a market as you're going to get anywhere in the country. I don't believe people will go see a team. I don't care whether it's a basketball team, whether it's an American football team, or a football team, because of who the owner is. They may initially, they may come out to the first match, you'll pack it out. The second match will be half as many people. The third match will be a quarter of the people, because they don't care about who owns the team. They care about the product that's on the pitch. And when you have all of those Orlando City fans mobbing you in Miami, coming down for those derby games, and there's only one set of supporters down there screaming and yelling and singing, and it's the Orlando City fans, it's just going to set the stage. I don't know how they're going to build enough of a groundswell of support in a short of a time to really compete with what's going to happen in Orlando City. I predict in Florida there will be one survivor, and it will be Orlando, who I think will flourish.
Yeah, there's a very good chance that's what happens. I think. And again, as I said earlier, I'm just coming from a show that I'm on every Thursday night locally. The people who rotate through on that show, there isn't a single person who wants to see this team in Miami. They're supporting the local Fort Lauderdale Strikers in the second division in NASL, and they think it's a terrible idea because, and I've heard that, what you just said over and over again. Okay, Beckham is the owner. People may show up for the first game because it's David Beckham, and he'll wave to the crowd and everything. Kick out the first ball, and then it's about the product on the pitch, and the product on the pitch is not going to be good enough for this particular market. So why not stay with the niche team, which appeals directly to hardcore football fans, which is the second division team, and let it be. And then if you want to go watch a Major League Soccer game, Orlando is a 2.5 hour drive. That's it.
And even better. And as we said earlier, and Google is on your phone.
Right. Yeah, and you can watch MLS from wherever.
Yeah, I think it's a disaster, and it upsets me because I want all this to work in MLS. I mean, I want them to continue to grow. I'd love for them to be making more money, to be more profitable, and more there for the long. Some of these teams may be a little bit shaky, but they've done a great job up till now. I think Don Garber's proven his leadership ability for the long run, but this, I think, is a catastrophic mistake. I'm saying it now, December the 18th or with the 19th now, 2013. I do not believe this franchise will work. I believe this will be a major, major fault going through MLS. This could be another team that they have to move or contract or what have you. I don't see it. David Beckham, I mean, what exactly does he bring to ownership other than he knows people and he was a former superstar player?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's I think he unless he can appeal, and I've heard some proponents of this down here, but again, most of the people in the soccer community seem to be sticking with the second division team. I've heard some proponents down here say, oh, well, he can get the greatest players in the world because he's David Beckham. It doesn't work like that. Those players don't come to MLS in the prime of their careers. So
because the owner of an MLS team is David Beckham. No, of course not, Kartik. There's no justification. I tell you what, I've got the blueprint. The first match, you have David Beckham come out, wave to the crowd. You'll pack it out, okay? So that's that one. We agree on that one, right, Kartik?
Correct.
Second match, why don't we do a Spice Girls reunion? Okay, that'll pack it out for the second match. I don't know what you do for the third match and onwards, but at least I got to add one more.
Gimmick for every game, then. You'll have to have a gimmick for every game. It won't work.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hey, Kartik Krishnaiyer, always a pleasure. You can read Kartik's writings at worldsoccertalk.com. Thoroughly enjoy it. Thanks a lot, Kartik. We will check back in with you sometime next week. All right, I'm Nick Geber. This is World Soccer Radio. We do have to go to break. We'll be right back to wrap it up here on the Sports Byline USA Radio Network. 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. Find us on Twitter at World Soccer Radio. Facebook, facebook.com/World Soccer Radio. Ustream, watch WSR. And it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. All right, break time. We'll be right back after this.
In 2000, the U.S. national debt was $5.6 trillion, and gold was $272 an ounce. By 2010, the U.S. debt was $13.5 trillion. Gold had risen to $1,421. Today, our government is projecting over $20 trillion of debt in the year 2016. Isn't it time you own gold? You can't control federal spending, but you can control where you put your investment dollars. Goldline has safely delivered billions of dollars in gold to its clients for over 50 years. Diversifying with gold is a smart strategy. Call Goldline today to receive your free investor kit. 800-319-9027. Ask them about payment options and read their important risk information to see if buying gold is right for you. Use your credit card for safety and convenience. Don't wait. Call Goldline today. 800-319-9027. 800-319-9027.
Are you a business owner or an individual who owes the IRS? Then be prepared to write down an important phone number. Do you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes? Do you need to file back tax returns? Are you dealing with bank levies and wage garnishments? It's time to deal with your IRS problem today. Call Certified Tax Representation now. Certified Tax Representation, Inc. represents clients just like you in all 50 states. They will contact the IRS on your behalf the same day that you become a client, and you can become a client immediately. It's time for you to face your IRS problems. Think about how great you're going to feel when you're represented by a company who's an advocate for you, who knows the law, who also will contact the IRS the same day you become a client. Call today for your free, no-obligation consultation. Call now, 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064. Not all cases are typical, and some may not qualify. The consultation is free, and so is the call, so call right now. 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064.
Attention, if you've had hip replacement surgery and suffered any complications, you need to listen to this important legal alert. Major manufacturers have made billions of dollars available to award legal claims for defective hip implants. Thousands of these defective hip implants have been recalled by various manufacturers. If you've had hip surgery and suffered complications, you may be entitled to receive significant compensation to help you deal with your complications. You may be eligible to receive money to help with medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. Protect yourself by hiring an experienced trial attorney. Our partner law firms are experts in hip replacement surgery lawsuits. Find out now if you're eligible to receive any of the $2.5 billion hip settlement fund. Call now for free information. 800-296-1360. 800-296-1360. 800-296-1360. That's 800-296-1360.
You're up.
All right, welcome back. World Soccer Radio, Sports Byline USA. I'm Nick Geber. Every weeknight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. By the way, make sure you write it in your book. And if you got an iPhone or an Android or a hemorrhoid or whatever you use, whip out that Sharpie, write it all over the screen so that you'll be sure never to miss the show, because you need to make this show a regular part of your work week. And speaking of Android phones, I have an Android phone right here. It's what I use, a Samsung Galaxy. I don't give any free publicity, but it's a good phone, by the way. I think it's an S4. It's great. I watch a lot of football on it. I really do. I watch all the Premier League matches. Now, the downside of having Dish Network, which is what I have, that doesn't have this Time Warner Sportsnet, is it does have a built-in Sling box, which of course you can get an external one. So I can watch anything from my TV on my phone or my computer. In fact, when I was in London a few years ago working there, I would watch the Premier League games slinging the video from California to my computer in London, because I could see every game that way. But if I was in London actually on the TV, I could only watch selected games. So I tell you what, to get back to this very briefly, to this discussion about Major League Soccer and coming off a national platform, TV platform, and moving online, I think it is a groundbreaking move in the right direction for MLS. If they do it, that will be a surefire winner. And I know that there will be some people that will push back and look at it as a step backwards. I don't think it's a step backwards. I think this would be like Chairman Mao's great leap forward. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed the show. I always really love bringing you this show. I'll be back tomorrow with Danny, who I know was very sorry he couldn't be here today. But that's all right. Just gave me more opportunity to talk. All right, once again, weeknights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on this very network, or on watchwsr.com, or at World Soccer Talk, Sports Byline, American Forces. Coming up next, folks, a true legend of the game, the one, the only, Mr. Ron Barr. There's only one place you get all of this incredible programming. That's right, Sports Byline USA Radio Network. Cheers. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Good job, Nick.
Thanks a lot.
See you tomorrow.